happy to be joined again by Bailee.
Yeah.
How you doing, Bailee?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. If you just tell us, just as a little refresher, who you are and what it is that you do here at Glendora Recovery Center.
Yeah. So as you said, my name's Bailee. I'm the lead counselor here at Glendora Recovery Center. So we run the education groups, process groups, and individual sessions, all that fun stuff.
That's great. I'm always struck by, I think people, when they hear about, rehab treatment place like Glendora, they're like, okay, they understand maybe the initial groups part of it and people sharing and that kind of thing. But I think it's the education part of it that you don't hear as much about.
Right.
If you could tell us a bit about what that is and maybe clear up any misconceptions folks might have about that.
Yeah. Well, I think like your initial perspective when you think of sitting in like a room with people and getting educated, it can be kind of like daunting and scary
yeah, I would guess.
intimidating a little bit. So I think the way I like to view it is it's basically just a room full of people. My job is to basically relay information that helps people kind of understand better what they're suffering from. So giving kind of like names and evidence-based, rationales for why we're experiencing some of the things that we experience in, active addiction, early recovery, and then the maintenance stages and everything. So like for instance, one of the things I like to educate on is something called anhedonia, which is a very common thing that people experience when they first get to recovery.
Wow.
Basically, all it means is a loss of pleasure in things that we previously found pleasurable. And so a lot of the time when we get here, we're kind of like defeated and we have a lack of motivation and nothing seems interesting or exciting anymore. And to have like a scientific explanation for what you're going through at that time, it can make us feel like we're not crazy and we're not, alone in it, that this is something that is very normal for people to experience, and there's a reason and some solutions to kind of transition out of it.
Okay, just so I'm clear, and please correct me if I'm wrong in the way anhedonia works in this context. It's, it's when someone comes to a recovery center, they no longer experience pleasure from the hobbies they enjoyed, and that's due to the addiction itself.
Yeah.
Like that is like because the addiction keeps them from enjoying the activities.
So
how does that work?
basically, in your addiction, you're getting an influx of dopamine from either the substances themselves or from the activities related. Even we have a biochemical factor to anhedonia, which is everything going on in the body and brain. Then we have a psychological factor, which is behaviors. So in addiction, we might find a rush from meeting up with our dealer, or from even just lying and manipulating, getting away with things, hiding drugs and alcohol. And when we come here, you remove substances from your body, plus you're, kind of engaged in this brand new lifestyle, which you're kind of just dopamine depleted. And so being at this like depleted level of dopamine, that's where we experience anhedonia, where we're kind of just feeling this consistent state of blah. Like where life just does not feel fun anymore. And it's temporary though, which is, it's beneficial to learn that like sobriety does not feel like this forever. You won't feel like this forever, and it will eventually kind of go away.
You beat me to it when you talked about it. I mean, when the constant state of blah is a tremendous phrase, but you did beat me to exactly where I was going next. I mean, okay, so it makes sense that someone coming here and they're feeling that, and then what happens to get them past that? How does that process work, and what role does Glendora and by extension you play in how that journey unfolds?
Well, a consistent period of abstinence in and of itself is going to kind of like shuffle you and transition you out of it, because your body's going to start to naturally produce dopamine again. Oh, wow. But there are certain things that you can do to kind of fast track the process, which is even things as simple as just finding enjoyable hobbies again, things that, a lot of our clients like to go back to what they enjoyed doing in childhood. So maybe puzzles, maybe going to the park and kicking a ball around, or, listening to music that they used to like that kind of brings them into this more positive state of mind. It can also just be following up with appointments that we schedule. It can be getting involved in a program and finding new enjoyable experiences. And health is important too, so sleep, nutrition, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of solutions for getting out of it, but if we don't know that they're there, we suffer a little bit longer than we need to.
Okay, and it just sounds like from so many of the things that you're saying, like on a long enough timeline, and maybe not even that long a timeline, like if you're getting enough sleep and you're eating healthy and exercise and all that, eventually you're just going to start feeling better regardless. I mean, it's almost like inevitable kind of in a way. Like it's okay, so it's, I mean, without giving away too much, I feel like this is an extension of what we're talking about. What's maybe like some success stories that you've seen, or something maybe more recently about, folks that which you've been able to see that's, very fulfilling and great here at GRC?
I mean, I kind of view every single one of our clients as a success story, just for the simple matter that they made it here.
Right.
Getting here is the hardest part.
I
Admitting
bet.
that there's a problem is just, it can be very, very difficult. So even getting here in general is a success to me. But I had recently one of our alumni clients came back, and she had just celebrated a year sober.
Wow.
And she was explaining, we were able to kind of process what had happened at the beginning of her treatment versus how she feels, and even her, perspectives at this point in her sobriety, and just getting to hear one of their favorite things, and I consistently hear this from the clients, is that they enjoy that we don't necessarily make them do anything.
Oh, wow.
It's basically solution based. So we're going to offer you kind of this platter of solutions, but then it's up to you and your discretion what you choose to do. So because it's not forced, and because, there's nothing that you have to do, when they do make those, constructive choices for themselves, it feels so much more empowering, because they're the ones getting to choose to do it. So I mean, I'm just here simply to offer information, and then whatever they do to, improve their life, it was them who did it. I don't take any of the
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You just, I mean, it sounds like, and please correct me if I'm wrong, and classifying this way, that's like you give them, you provide them treatment, you provide them treatment things, and you provide them information, all that, and then what happens, it's what they do with it.
Right, yeah. Because at the end of the day, we all have freedom of choice, right? So even if we're here mandated by court, or, we have DCFS on our back, or even just family pressure, right? At the end of the day, we still have a choice. We might not like both of our options, if the option is go to prison or go to treatment, but I think it can be kind of empowering when you realize that it's you. You're the one who's making the choice to improve your life and give yourself another shot, to live a fulfilling and meaningful existence.
Wow, that was very well said. I mean, those are all the questions I have for you, Bailee.
Okay.
Is there anything else that I didn't ask you that you would like to say, whether it's about the treatment here, about the education, or any aspect of this?
Honestly, not that I can think of right now.
That's okay.
Yeah.
What you said was great. I mean,
Okay.
it's I feel like you and I could have like an actual podcast, like
Yeah.
what we do here at work. This is great. Well, thank you so much for taking the
Yeah,
time to
thank
talk to me,
you.
Bailee. I'm Greg Benevent on behalf of everyone here. Take it easy. Have a good night.